Fantastic Four, issue number 6. We're still going strong with this pretty interesting run. I don't know, I think there's some good stuff in here. There's some stuff I'm still kind of iffy on, but it's exciting. There's some interesting ideas being played with in this book. And this issue in particular, I found to be very impressive. It had some really cool themes it was playing with. I don't know, this is like, I guess, what you kind of needed, like going from the Reckoning War stuff and like the big, expansive Marvel universe-defining arcs for the FF. Just go quiet. Let these characters grow again. So that's kind of exciting. I think that's kind of cool. I gotta say, it's kind of nice. Last issue, we escaped that dimension and we had like the mirror microscopic organisms growing on us. We had to burn it all off. And in this issue, it's 4 a.m. We're staying in a motel. Everybody's staying in the same room. There's like some disgusting algae blooming in the water nearby. So they're going to check it out because, well, it could be something that they are responsible for. And the entire drive there, Reed is explaining to Johnny what could be happening in this lake. And he's like, that's great, man. You did not have to spend an hour telling me this. But they get there, and the entire lake is just covered in this green algae. And using his telescopic eyeball, which is one of the best things this book has done so far, is use Reed's powers in an interesting way, he deduces that, yep, there is some cyanobacteria being mirrored in the lake, and it's the same microorganisms that were on them. Uh-oh, this is their fault. So they're going to have to figure out a way to stop this disgusting bacteria from spreading and consuming the entire world. How are they going to do that? Who's to say? First off, they're going to jump into the water and just save all the little turtles and fish and put them in a big bucket. Sue's going to have a big bucket, and they're going to put it in a bucket, and then Johnny's going to warm the bucket, which I'm just like, isn't that just going to kill the fish? You know, isn't that just going to kill the fish? I don't know. It doesn't, though. But they do it. I guess they saved the day. They supposedly saved the day, but their timer was a little too slow. It took them 2 minutes and 39 seconds, so that was just a little too slow that it might not have actually done any good. It could still spread at that rate. It's not going to burn at that rate. Chances of them continuing to do it at this pace and find a way to save it this way, it's not going to work. Reed deduces continuing this operation, it's not going to save the day. We have to come with a new solution if there is one to come up with. And Reed is just on like his huge spiel like, I don't know how we can do this. It's going to take some real thinking. We have to operate at a faster pace, at a smarter rate. It's going to be kind of hard thing to come up with, but we'll try. We'll see what happens, right? It's a fun story. You know, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of good things about this run I'm liking so far. It's that Reed is insane, and he just talks like an insane person, like no normal person does. I like it. I also like that Johnny is allowed to be smart. He's not just a goofball, because he's actually the one that comes up with the idea, like, what if we just turned off the sun for a minute? Maybe Sue could turn off the sun, and then the bacteria will starve to death because there's no light to absorb. It'd be hard to do, but the planet might die, but it could work. Reed's like, that's a good idea. That could actually work. We'd have to do it a certain way, though, so we wouldn't have to block out the whole sun. That could be impossible to do, and something that's not achievable. What we could do is try to block out a specific zone for a myriad of maybe 72 hours to give it 3 days to die off. It's a thing that could possibly work. It would turn off a couple of the states in the area, but she'd also need the power to do that if it was possible. Who knows, though? How are we going to block out the sun for 3 days straight? Sue's like, well, I could probably try it. I mean, it's a good use of my power. It's something for me to do. Hey, I'll give it a shot. She might need something to keep the air burning in there, though, and something that could keep the compressed oxygen going up in the Fantastic Car. So Johnny's going to go with her and keep up like a cooling station and a heating station and just make sure things are working. So when she is blocking out the sun for the time, he's making sure things don't overheat or cool out or just explode. Cool. Brother and sister going to space to stop the sun from shining on a couple of the Midwestern states. Cool. What does that mean? Alicia is on publicity support. She's going to use her people skills and convince the world this is a normal plan that is happening and they can't be stopped. So they take a couple of drinks, couple of foods, head up to space. Now it's just up to Alicia to convince the world this is a good idea. They head to like a nearby I guess like a building's open. It's a new library, and then Alicia just walks up with the Fantastic Four. She's like, "Hey, there's a thing going on in space right now. We're gonna be blocking out the sun for a couple of days. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm here to answer any questions you have." Well, Reed is just doing like a huge, weird, like disgusting thing of his body, blocking security from getting on the stage. Insane. And as they're having the conversation, the sun just goes away, and everyone's like, what just happened?" So we go to space several hours later, and then it's just Johnny and Sue having a conversation. I love that. They're my two favorite members of the FF, and to see them have fun, it's amazing. So join each other's company. Johnny's trying to play some fun games. He's getting pretty bored though already. Sue's like, "Can you just like not for a minute? Let's just relax." But then like she has like a weird pain show up in her body because she's using her power on a display she never really had before. It feels like there's something else that's like attacking her, like a new limb is on her body and it's falling asleep and she can't control it. So she's like, "Can you keep me distracted? Tell me a story." And Johnny goes into a spiel about like how him and Spider-Man fought a venomized kangaroo, but not like an actual kangaroo, like the villain, the kangaroo. And it's so weird. And interspersed between that, we see that Reed and Ben and Alicia are going to go to a bunch of city halls and just explain what's happening. This cut between that, everything's going great. Johnny goes out into space for a bit, starts flying around, but Sue's like, "I'm so exhausted, so you might want to get back into the ship because if I can't remember to form an air bubble around us, you're going to die." So he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good call." So he gets back in the ship, and then he starts reading her, some Jane Eyre, and he's like, "This is actually a really good book. I'm sorry, like I'm just getting emotional reading this book to you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's Johnny. That's some good stuff." She's like, "It's public domain. If you want to like change the title, you could." He's like, "Oh, interesting. Maybe I should do that." And then we cut back to Earth and we see Ben and Reed are fighting Dr. Octopus. I'm like, cool. Like, that is a small scale adventure that makes sense for what we're doing here. I buy that completely. It's wholehearted, it's nice, it's polite, it's cool. It's doing something interesting. I respect that. And back in space, we just see Johnny and Sue. Again, they're just chilling, talking about everything they're doing. Sue's just like, "We've been doing this a long time. Everything's kind of a lot. It's kind of insane what we've been doing and how long we've been doing it for." And she tells Johnny, like, "Do you know why Reed actually shaved his beard?" He's like, "Yeah, because he wants to restore faith in the Fantastic Four." It's like, kinda, but it's also because he sees new gray hairs coming in, like he's getting older. This isn't going to be something he can maintain that much longer. It's kind of interesting. A cool idea. Sue having like the revelation, like, we've been doing this for a while. And it's exciting and it's good. But sometimes it's just good for us to rest and have these quiet moments where like the whole world's not at stake, and I like that. And Johnny is just like, "Man, you're such a good sister. You're a good person. You're amazing. You're so nice and sincere. You're the best." A great moment. And they're coming up on their last couple of hours. We see that it's day 3, and people are still pissed off at the Fantastic Four. They're literally like they're literally like rioting around them and throwing bricks at the thing, and then suddenly sun comes back on. Everyone's like, "Oh, okay, we're done. Please don't do that again. It sucks." Okay. It worked. They saved the day. Everything worked out just fine. Johnny and Sue head back to Earth. They land by the water that they were protecting, and then suddenly a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Is S.H.I.E.L.D. still around? Is that what this is? I don't know what's happening with S.H.I.E.L.D., but a bunch of agents working for Maria Hill show up. Maria Hill looking younger than she's ever been. I don't know. It's interesting. She's like, "So you just blocked out the sun for 3 full days. That is terrifying. And you could..." And she's just talking about Sue here. This is just Susan Storm Richards. Turns out the Invisible Woman's a talking, walking mass extinction event. And we're concerned about that. So we're going to have a few questions to be said. Everything will be fine. We'll get you on the right track. Which I guess makes sense. We never really seen Sue go that big in a long time, so cool. Everyone's kind of freaking out. I dig that. Sue's like, "Okay, what do you want, Hill?" They do not reference that apparently Susan Storm used to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent working for Maria Hill back in like the Mark Waid 5-issue miniseries Invisible Woman. It doesn't matter. So we just want to Yeah, ask Sue a few questions. See if she's up to snuff with the state of American politics and if she's going to be a problem. But forget it. Johnny and Sue aren't no crooks. They ain't gonna do bad things. They just blast away, taking the Fantastic Car, and Johnny burns a couple of agents with him, and they leave. I'm like, okay, that is something you just did. Cool. So they're still fugitives. They saved the day from this organism that nobody saw, and they are still fugitives. I'm like, that's fine. That's a cool idea. I'm okay with that. It's been a fun book. This issue was stronger than some previous ones. I'm glad we're finally getting back on track to something cool. The next issue is issue 700 of the Fantastic Four. That's kind of exciting. That could be some pretty interesting stuff going on there. So who knows? We're doing right. That's kind of cool. Pretty cool if you ask me. I don't know. It's kind of exciting stuff, but strong issue, great writing, great use of Johnny and Sue. I love it. This is what I want from this book. It's doing it fine. I like it. I'm liking it a lot. So, Fantastic Four issue number 6, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.